Hello there everybody, this is Jett Martin, and in today's video we're going to be going over a little bit of a market technical analysis to see if the market's going to be going up or down tomorrow. Now if you guys enjoy this video, please remember to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and join back most days during the week, and I'll be going over this quick technical analysis over the three main futures of the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the Nasdaq that really shape the overall movement of the market. Now let's get into this video. The first thing we're going to be looking at is the S&P 500 here. So let's zoom into what is actually going on today. So this was the drop near at the beginning of September. And we saw, as I was talking about in the last few videos, we reached a triple bottom. So this was indication that it was either going to break up or break down. Now let's break into the price action this week. So on the 21st, we saw it crash down very aggressively during the beginning of the day, and we saw it rally a little back up, and then we moved in, and then it crashed down even further to a new low of the day. But it seemed, if we can do some technical analysis here, that we actually found a new bottom. So this is the amount that you're going to be looking at around this 33,218 mark. This is about where you're going to be looking at to see if the stock market's going to continue to go down tomorrow on the S&P 500. It might be using this as a support and follow the pattern that happened last week with the triple bottom that we were seeing. Stock market tends to move in patterns, but it doesn't always have to. So that is going to be the new low that you're going to be looking at. And now the new point that you're going to be trying to look for is this SMA, or I'm sorry, excuse me, the EMA line, which is the exponential moving average. So this is your next main resistance that you're going to be looking for. If it breaks above this 32 or 3,262 mark, so this line right about here, we will see that would be its next line of support moving forward. So if we move it, put this, extend the line over here and extend the line over here, these are really the two ways that we're looking at to see if the stock market is going to be going up or down tomorrow. So if this cracks below during the beginning of the market, around 8:30 my time, Central Standard Time, then we'll see the stock market continue to make lower lows in this downtrend. If it breaks above, then we might see some potential uptrend moving forward, but it's going to have to break after it breaks this SMA line because it will probably use it as a support. It'll have to break this triple bottom, which is now becoming a resistance instead of a support. If you want to know a little bit more about what moving exponential average, SMA, support resistance, and what those words mean, I'll put links down in the description below with little bit descriptions from Investopedia so you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So with that being said, we could quickly look at the SPY here, and this is the future. This is an ETF that mimics the movement of the S&P 500. And if you would look up here real quick, this is actually a short-term put option that you could have bought today and made about 150% if you would have bought during market open. So what do I mean by that? If we zoom in on the day, I actually drew some trend lines from the top. Sorry for all the, if it's a little bit messy, but these all kind of help me when I'm making decisions during the day for when I'm deciding to see if I want to buy calls or puts during the market. So at the high on 916, I drew a trend line which about met at the met where it was about the price action was on the 180-day 4-hour chart for 918, and then it continued to go down, and we actually found that that would have been the last line of support, and we saw it continue to go lower. So that is just something to keep in mind. That'll probably also could be a resistance as well. So just keep this all in mind when you're making your price movements. Make sure you know what's going on with these resistance lines. So this will help you be more prepared when you're trading in the market tomorrow. Another thing I wanted to quickly go over here is the S&P 500 or the SPY on the 1 day 1 minute. So something that I've been noticing is that when the SPY breaks below the 180-day SMA and below the VWAP, we see a significant downtrend, or if it breaks above, we see a significant uptrend in the day, usually around 1% to 2%. Today we saw about 2%. So keep that in mind when you're trading in the morning. That is about the breaking above or breaking below this 180-day EMA, excuse me, SMA and VWAP are very important moving forward into tomorrow's market. Now let's look at the Dow Jones. So we'll go back to the 180-day chart. All right, so similar thing happened. We saw this open pretty red. So the next resistance level that we're looking at here is going to be this EMA line. So moving forward, this is the line that we're caring about the most. This will be a potential resistance going if the Dow Jones decides to go up, and if it breaks above that, we're looking at a nice support there moving forward, and that'll become a support instead of resistance. Now, like I said, with the S&P 500, this seems to be a new bottom for us. So we might have and follow the pattern of a triple bottom like we did before, but this could also become a new support and make it that triple bottom, or it could be something that we need to break through. If it breaks through that, then we could see a pretty significant downside moving in because there's no really uh, significant point for where there'll be a new support line. We could maybe see it around the 26,400 mark, but going through that, we don't really have any good basis. So breaking down past this 26,500 area is pretty key to see if the Dow Jones keeps going lower. So if it breaks above this new resistance line of this SMA, that's where we'll be looking up until this 27,200 mark for the next resistance level for an uptrend. Now finally, let's go look at the Nasdaq here and do some quick technical analysis on that. So again, that we reached a triple bottom on the Nasdaq before, and that is now going to be the new resistance level moving forward in the day because it broke that support. So we're gonna have to look at probably this 1% gain would be the next amount. It has to break above that to around the 10,900 mark to and hold above to make that its new support, and then we could see a potential uptrend. Now, again, with the other ones, this is about another double bottom. Again, these main future contracts tend to move together, so it's just good to get a good idea. The Nasdaq seems to fall first from what I've been seeing over the last month, but the other ones could move as well, but they tend to move together overall. So moving forward, that'll be the new resistance to break. And if it breaks below this, we could see a significant down drop or a nice drop again like we did today. So looking at this, the 10,700 mark, it breaks below that, we could see it dip a bit lower. And if it breaks above this 10,900 mark, we could see a potential uptrend. If we look at the SQs here, this is an inverse ETF for the day, excuse me, for the Nasdaq. We saw that that broke up here and it's just now above the new support line that I was setting before of a triple bottom or a triple top. So that was a resistance for the SQs. So if we're looking at this to compare and see if the stock market's really going to be going down tomorrow, this would have to stay above and bounce off of this new support line because it broke above, and then we could see the stock market continue to go down. The last thing as an indicator that you can use to see if the stock market's really going to be going down here is the VIX. Whenever the VIX, which is the volatility index, goes up, generally the stock market does go down. Now make sure you use all of these together so you can make a good educated decision on your trade. Some of them don't always work together. Like before we saw a couple days ago when the VIX was low, the stock market still went down, but generally it does follow the pattern. So if we zoom in on the 180-day here, we could see, or we do see that we're on top of this support here. So the next resistance level I'm seeing is most likely going to be around this point here. So the VIX is going to have to break above this, excuse me, the VIX is going to have to break above this line here and hold above because this is going to be the new resistance level. If it does hold above, we could see the stock market continue to go down and reach highs of around of this amount over here up to 37. So this resistance level around 30 is the main number that we're looking at to see if the stock market will continue to go down, because when the VIX goes up, the stock market does continue to go down usually. And right now we are above the EMA line, so that is another indication if it can hold above the EMA line, we could see support moving into tomorrow and see the stock market go down. The last thing I actually wanted to go over real quick was the gold futures. Now, gold usually goes up when the stock market goes down. But we're seeing gold also make a pullback. And if we zoom in here, we are about to, it just broke below the low of the beginning of the month. So it's still downtrending, so that is not a good indication. It's a good indication to buy puts. So like I was saying with this SPY future, if you buy puts on the gold ETFs, you could be making extra money, or you could be buying the inverses as well that track the volatility of the gold futures. Going forward anyways, we just broke below that and we seem to be trying to get above, but now we're playing against the factors here. So if we do a little bit of technical analysis, we are still below the EMA. So if we stay below and we don't break above this EMA, we will and if it stays below this trend line, or we will most likely see the gold market continue to make lower lows, and we could even see it go down because this seems to be the next clear support for it. So that's a good 50-point drop to where it is now. That's that 1800 mark. But if it does keep above this trend line and break back above and get above this EMA, the next resistance level I'm really seeing here will be this double bottom we saw earlier at about, let me draw this line real quick, at about that 1900 mark. If it breaks above there, we could see potential upside up to that 1950 mark. So that gives you a good indication of if the stock market is going to be going up or down, looking at the three main futures, including, and then also looking at the gold futures contract. And then we also looked at the SQs, which is the inverse operation, or the inverse ETF following the Nasdaq. And we looked at a potential SPY put that you could have bought betting against the S&P 500 that you could have made over 150% if you knew how this technical analysis works. So make sure you come back in, tune in, look at these videos every night to get a good understanding, so then you could maybe make 100% in a night. But make sure you don't trade with money that you aren't willing to lose. This is a game and it's all about managing risks. So if you start seeing things go bad, make sure you sell. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to help you guys do a little bit of technical analysis so you can be prepared during the stock market. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and join us every day, Monday through Friday for the most part, going over some quick technicals so you can make the best opportunity of your trades during the week. With that being said, hope you guys have a great day.